As an Amazon associate, we earn from qualifying purchases. This podcast is supported by its listeners. If you choose to purchase something using links on our website, we may earn a commission. No books were warped, dog-eared, underlined with purple pen, eaten, cursed, cancelled, burned, or otherwise harmed in the making of this podcast. I'm Tom Tolkien, and this is the School Reading List, a podcast that recommends books you'll want your children to read and books you'll wish you'd read as a child. To kick off episode 33 of the School Reading List podcast, let's rip open some book post. And first up is Super Goat Girl by Tracey Baptiste, illustrated by Dapo Adeola. Super Goat Girl arrives at superhero school only to find her classmates aren't sure what to think of her rather unusual talents. But when chaos erupts, from alien ropes to a gorilla on the loose, she jumps in to save the day, proving her worth in unexpected ways. Little by little, her classmates see that every superpower counts. Tracey Baptiste pens the story with bright and lively illustrations from award-winning Dapo Adeola. Exploring themes of shyness, teamwork and resilience, Super Goat Girl is highly recommended. Domain by Rohan Gavin. Imagine being permanently online. Porter Sims is an orphan chosen to test a device that beams new skills straight into his brain. But when he becomes permanently hooked up to the system, things get complicated, and each upgrade messes with his mind a little more. As Porter tries to uncover a looming threat from someone or something that permanently wants to shut him down, he's forced to balance the dangers of staying online. It's a relentless, fast-paced and shorter read, perfect for 11-plus-year-olds who are fascinated by high-stakes tech adventure, apps and smartphones. Highly recommended for Key Stage 3, the clever binary cover art exudes library shelf appeal. Dinosaur Desert, a prehistoric journey of discovery by Dr. Nick Crumpton and Ola Plakinska. Trailblazing paleontologist Sophia Keelan-Jawakowska was best known for unearthing fossils in the Gobi Desert. This hardback explores her childhood in Nazi-occupied Poland, her determination to study in secret, and the expeditions that led to finds like Deinonychus and Velociraptor. With plenty of vibrant and detailed illustrations, fossil facts, and thought-provoking narrative moments from her adventures, it's a fascinating glimpse into Sophia's remarkable life and her contributions to prehistoric knowledge. Highly recommended for 7 to 9-year-olds. Go Go Dodo by Hugh Lewis-Jones, illustrated by Fred Blunt. Go Go Dodo is a playful adventure about a clueless dodo wandering through jungle, swamp and sea, completely unaware that a tiger is quietly tailing him. Animal antics keep things interesting, and the lively mix of words and pictures means readers get to see both sides of the chase. Jones, who's known for books on explorers and maps, brings plenty of charm and laughs to this cracking read-aloud picture book for 3 to 6-year-olds. Every Botty Burps by Becky Wilson, illustrated by Alex Patrick. Every Botty Burps takes a light-hearted look at animal flatulence, all wrapped up in bouncy rhymes. Expect a parade of animals and plenty of giggles, as the book tackles a subject kids usually find hilarious. The playful artwork brings the story to life. It's the perfect book to read with sound effects, and we think 3 to 6-year-olds will love this energetic picture book. Ooh. George and Lenny Are Always Together by John Agee. George and Lenny Are Always Together centres on a bear and a rabbit, close friends who discover what it's like to be together and apart on the playground. While Lenny enjoys a bit of quiet time drawing or building, George would rather have company. With empathetic illustrations and thought-provoking dialogue, this useful picture book looks at how friendship and personal space can fit together for young children. Highly recommended for reading and discussing with 4+-year-olds. Farah's Nose by Humera Malik. In Humera Malik's thought-provoking picture book, Farah worries about her appearance, until a trip to a museum exhibition makes her reconsider everything. There, surrounded by stories and portraits of South Asian women, she discovers her family's proud history and learns about the journeys of immigrant women. The book mixes real historical facts with Farah's story, giving children an introduction to South Asian heritage. The vibrant and engaging illustrations come from Chaya Prabhat. Highly recommended. My Big Fat Smelly Poo Diary 3 by Jim Smith. My Big Fat Smelly Poo Diary 3 brings back Pedro, Olga and Ozzy for more school escapades and oddball challenges, all in a vibrant graphic novel form. Packed with Jim Smith's trademark full-colour illustrations, it mixes raucous fun, friendship and a good dose of toilet humour. Even better than number 2, My Big Fat Smelly Poo Diary 3 will be a surefire hit with 6 to 9-year-olds. The Poetry World of John Agard by John Agard. John Agard has handpicked poems from 8 of his previously published collections for this lively anthology. You'll find favourites from titles like I Didn't Do Nuttin', Say It Again, Granny, Laughter is an Egg, and Grandfather's Old Brooker Down Car. With over 80 poems on everything from family and animals to language and daily life, it's a brilliant introduction to Agard's playful and thought-provoking poetry for Key Stage 2 readers. Highly recommended. Cruise Ship Kid by Emma Swan. Silver lives full-time on a cruise ship, and when some pricey watches vanish, she reckons cracking the case might finally help her make some mates. Told through her diary, with quizzes, ship facts and other fun bits, this mystery is packed with personality. Inspired by the author's own sea-soaked childhood, it's the first in a new detective series for readers 8 and upwards who like fun whodunits. Highly recommended. Mission Monster Mind by Philip Kavvadias. Mission Monster Mind sees junior agents Finn, Milo, Tazy, Ether the Hacker and Artie the Microraptor off to Scotland on the hunt for stolen tech. Along the way they run into mercenaries and a fair bit of trouble in the woods. With Ewan Cook's illustrations and a mix of science, mind control and adventure, it's another rip-roaring outing in the Mission Microraptor series for eco-curious middle-grade readers. Rayleigh, Mann and the Quest of Misfits by Ciannon Smart. Rayleigh, Mann and the Quest of Misfits continues Rayleigh's story as he and his friends search for treasure in Below London. As they investigate monster society and uncover hidden clues, Rayleigh works to keep Below London safe from harm. The book weaves together themes of identity, friendship and problem-solving, all set in an enthralling, well-realised fantasy world. It's ideal for 9+-year-olds. Things I Learned While I Was Dead by Kathryn Clark. When 17-year-old Calico loses her sister, she takes a desperate gamble on cryogenics. But when she wakes decades later, everything's changed. Ash is gone, the lab's a creepy shell of its former self, and something's seriously off. Hunted through a biotech nightmare, Calico pieces together the truth, one memory at a time. Kathryn Clark's debut is eerie, emotional and sharp-edged, part sci-fi thriller, part gut punch. Highly recommended for 12+-year-olds. Poison Tides by J. McGuiness. Poison Tides sees Bear leaving Calliston with 3 witches on a mission to save their sister. While Bear tries to keep his friend Felix safe, High Lady Mare deals with her own troubles and some uneasy visions about Bear's future. The story digs into survival, power and loyalty, all set against a witchy dystopian backdrop. It's perfect for 13-plus-year-olds who enjoy intense dark romantasy.
Ooh.
Den of Liars by Jessica S. Olson. Lola St. James, also known as Astra, has made a name for herself as a skilled thief. But when a job goes sideways, her only way out is the Liar's Dice tournament, where secrets are the currency. The mastermind behind it? The mysterious Liar, her mentor's dangerous brother. As Lola bluffs her way through deadly games, tangled alliances, and an inconvenient attraction to Liar himself, she starts uncovering truths that could change everything. A sharp, high-stakes and twisty tale of deception and power, it's ideal for 14-plus-year-olds who like romantasies. Highly recommended.
Ooh.
Thank you to all the publishers and publicists for sending us books to review here on this podcast and on our website schoolreadinglist.co.uk. Here's our rundown of great new children's books hitting the shelves this August. The Moonlighters by Lee Newbury. Maisie and the Himalayas by Jack Jackman. Shoes, a footwear fashion frolic by Anna Davis and Daisy Winter. The Museum of Shapes by Sven Volker. Bear by Kiri Lightfoot. Let's Be Earthlings by Mary Murphy. All Together Now, collected poems by Michaela Morgan. Gloam by Jack McKay. The Coming of the Iron Man by Ted Hughes and Minnie Gray. Love on Sight by Ashley Jensen. The Not Witches Prison Break by Gary Panton. The First Book of Bugs by Simon Mole and Adam Ming. There are amphibians everywhere by Brita Teckentrup. How to Catch an Idea by Forrest Xiao. Enter the End Game by Triona Campbell. Poems by Kez Gray. The Forest of Dreams by Merv Atil-Gan. Sometimes You Find a Dragon by Vivian Swartz. Dungeon Runners Ocean Chase by Kieran Larwood and Joe Todd Stanton. Inside by S.A. Gales. You and Me and the Peanut Butter Beast by Andy Griffiths. Girls of Dark Divine by E.V. Woods. Buffalo Fluffalo by Bez Cowell and Erin Cran. Oxford Blood by Rachel Davis Featherstone. A Totally Big Umbrella by Sarah Crossan and Rebecca Cobb. Colin's Grandma by Holly Swain. The Game I Will Never Forget by Anjali Q. Ralph. Not Going to Plan by Tia Fisher. Little Snail Goes House Hunting by Bea Mello. Fox and the Mystery Letter by Alex G. Griffiths. Geomancer The Ship of Strays by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. And our picture book of the month is The Museum of Shapes by Sven Volker. Our non-fiction book of the month is There Are Amphibians Everywhere by Brita Teacontree, and our fiction book of the month is Gloam by Jack McKay. Bookety book, let's get reading. If you're a teacher, librarian or avid bookworm who loves children's or YA books and you'd like to review brand new titles for the school reading list, get in touch by email. We'd love to hear from you. The address is reviews@schoolreadinglist.co.uk. And here's a rundown from one of our latest resources, our list of great audiobooks for teens. A Peculiar Peril by Jeff Vandermeer. Jonathan Lambshead and his two friends are whisked into the stranger's adventure after they begin cataloguing his late grandfather's rambling old mansion. Before long, they stumble upon a link to Aurora, a parallel world with Aleister Crowley stirring up trouble. Throw in a secret society, plenty of strange characters and some wild twists, and you've got a tale that blurs the line between reality and the bizarre. Narrated by Raphael Corkill. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. The Cruel Prince drops Jude, a mortal girl, straight into the treacherous world of fairy after her parents are killed. Living amongst fairies with her sisters, Jude faces constant danger and scorn from the royal court. As she's drawn into the realm's tangled politics, the story dives into rivalry, survival, and the search for belonging. This is the first book in a gripping fantasy series, and Caitlin Kelly narrates the audiobook. Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. Tessa Gray leaves New York for Victorian London, stepping straight into the hidden world of shadow hunters. Seeking safety from supernatural threats, she joins a group dedicated to battling demons. The story introduces both new and familiar faces from Cassandra Clare's universe, exploring questions of identity and belonging. Jennifer Earle narrates the audiobook edition. The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. Every summer, Belly returns to the beach house with family friends, sharing long sun-soaked days with brothers Jeremiah and Conrad. The story traces how those summers and her connection with the boys shape her as she grows up, capturing shifts in friendship, first love, and the bittersweet changes that come with time. This is the first book in a spellbinding series, with Lola Tung narrating the audiobook. Divergent by Veronica Roth. Triss is 16 and lives in a society split into factions. When she's forced to choose where she truly belongs, she leaves her family behind and faces tough new challenges that put loyalty and trust to the test. The story digs into identity, community, and tough choices. And it's the first book in a best-selling series, and Emma Galvin narrates this compelling audiobook. A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. After Farah kills a wolf, she's taken to a magical realm as punishment and finds herself living on Tamlin's estate. As she learns about the world of the Fae, Farah must adapt quickly, facing new dangers and a growing threat that hangs over the land. The gripping story follows her struggles and growth in this unfamiliar world, and the audiobook is narrated by Jennifer Ickader. Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Simon Snow just wants to survive in his last year at Watford School of Magics, but between magical threats and complicated friendships, nothing is ever simple. With clever twists and heartfelt moments, this story blends adventure and self-discovery. Ewan Morton's lively narration helps bring out the sharp humour and warmth of the characters. Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Go back to Paynham's dark past with the story of Hamish Abernathy, the clever tribute who became a legend in the 50th Hunger Games. Collins packs the prequel with clever twists and moral choices, making it impossible to pause. Jefferson White's narration brings every tense moment to life. Rival Darling by Alexandra Moody. When the campus hockey star and her biggest rival are thrown together for a make-or-break deal, the sparks are instant. Rival Darling delivers sports drama, banter and slow-burn romance, all with a healthy dose of laugh-out-loud moments. Narrators Cecily Bednar-Smith and Dallas Seeker help to keep the story quick and engaging from start to finish. Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. Ethan just wants to escape his small southern town, but meeting Lena changes everything. Secrets, family curses, and powerful magic set the scene for a story full of twists and dark discoveries. Kevin T. Collins' narration makes the gothic fantasy world of Gatlin ever more immersive. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Pip is determined to solve a murder in her hometown, but nothing is as simple as it seems. Clues, twists and secrets keep listeners hooked all the way to the end. The audiobook features a full cast led by Bailey Carr, giving the story a gripping documentary feel. The Recruit by Robert Muchamore. James is recruited to join a secret group of young agents and thrown into a world of high-stakes missions and training. With fast-paced action, memorable characters, and a dose of teen realism, this audiobook is ideal for anyone who loves spy stories. Narrator Simon Scarderfield helps bring the adventure to life. Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo. Kaz Brecker leads a crew of outcasts on a seemingly impossible heist through the heart of a ruthless city. Twists, double crosses, and quick-fire dialogue make every chapter compelling. The full cast narration, including Jay Snyder and Brandon Rubin, creates a rich audiobook experience. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Kalina Sardothian, a skilled assassin, is given a shot at freedom if she can win a brutal contest held in the king's castle. As her rivals start turning up dead, Kalina has to figure out what's behind the killings while fighting to stay alive herself. This is the first book in a best-selling fantasy series, and Elizabeth Evans narrates the audiobook. Here's a selection of exciting new book tasters sent to us by new and self-published children's authors this month.
The Adventures of Freddie and Charlie, a book of baby birds, written by I.S. Thomas, illustrated by Sarah Lee Wills. This lovely picture book for under fives is written using simple language to encourage young readers to gain confidence by building up the word. Young readers will be able to read some of the words in the book. This will allow them to enjoy the book and make reading more fun. The book is about two brothers and the adventures they have, going on walks and learning about nature. The book is educational and teaches children about wild birds and their babies, ducks and ducklings. Throughout the book, the reader is asked to count the babies, which makes the book fun to read. The book is beautifully illustrated, and at the end of the book, the reader is encouraged to look out for the baby birds when they next go to the park. A Book of Baby Birds is available from the Great British Bookshop, Amazon, Gardner's, Bookvault.
Hi, my name is Rohan, and I'm excited to introduce Sally the Spider, a joyful picture book adventure for children aged 3 to 7. One day, while spinning her web, Sally had the most curious thought. I have 8 tiny feet. Wouldn't 8 tiny shoes be really sweet? And just like that, she sets off into the forest to find them. Along the way, she meets friendly creatures like Freddy the Frog, Rosie Robin, Mr. Mole, and Molly Mouse, each offering clues, kindness, and a bit of fun. With rhythm and rhyme, Sally the Spider is a gentle tale of adventure, friendship, and finding joy in the little things, like the perfect pair of shoes, ×4. Sally the Spider is available now on Amazon. It is the perfect read for bedtime, story time, or little dreamers who love a fun journey with a big-hearted character.
Anna Denton and the Water of Life, the first of a two-part fantasy book set in a contemporary world on the brink of climate catastrophe. It is aimed at 9 to 12-year-old age range, with a focus on dual heritage protagonists. The below. As fires rage and waters rise across the globe, the future has been forgotten, lost to the endless pursuit of more. The event forces an unimaginable worldwide crisis. Children have disappeared everywhere. Only one remains, Anna Denton. As Anna Denton searches to find her place in a burning world, she is thrust into an epic adventure to find and bring back the children of Earth before it is too late. Available from www.jhbpress.co.uk and ebook from Amazon, Google, and Kobo.
If you'd like to get in touch and leave a recorded shout-out about your upcoming self-published children's book, have a look at our podcast webpage for more details. Last month, the government announced the UK National Year of Reading 2026. Here are some insights into what it might include and what educators hope it will achieve. In response to declining reading habits amongst children and teenagers, the government recently announced plans for a National Year of Reading in 2026. This initiative comes at a critical time. Studies show only about a third of young people aged between 8 and 18 currently read for enjoyment. Recent data shows children's reading enjoyment dropped sharply between 2023 and 2024, with boys experiencing a particularly significant decline. In 2024, only 28.2% of boys aged 8 to 18 reported enjoyment reading, down 12.3 percentage points from the previous year, compared with a smaller decline of 4.8 percentage points amongst girls. The government's goal is to reconnect families and young people with the value of reading. Officials stress its wide-ranging benefits, including academic success, emotional well-being, improved employment opportunities, and stronger social connections. Longer-term studies consistently link regular reading during childhood to higher earnings and better job prospects in later life. One key area that educators hope the campaign will tackle is the current mismatch between what children genuinely enjoy reading and what adults, including publishers, parents and school leaders, choose to promote. According to classroom teachers we've spoken to, publishers frequently market books that fail to capture children's genuine interests. Similarly, parents sometimes buy books that children feel obliged to read rather than excited to read. A survey of our teachers' focus group highlighted that addressing this mismatch should be a priority. School librarians and teaching staff we've spoken with say there needs to be greater input from children themselves in deciding what books are published and made available. They advocate for the publishing industry to become more responsive to young readers' actual preferences. By involving children's voices directly in manuscript selection and publication decisions, they believe the campaign could significantly boost children's enthusiasm for reading. Schools Schools already adopting student-centred approaches have noticed greater reading engagement. Educators emphasise the value of allowing pupils to choose their reading materials and share personal recommendations. Schools we've liaised with recently also report success when they've set up student reading councils or peer recommendation groups, helping shape classroom book selections, school library purchases and activities. Classroom practitioners highlight the importance of inclusive and accessible reading materials. Picture books, graphic novels, audiobooks and bilingual editions are particularly effective for engaging less confident readers or those learning English as an additional language. Wordless picture books are also praised for giving children the chance to discuss stories freely without language barriers, helping build confidence and improve literacy skills. Alongside core literacy skills, educators are keen for the campaign to highlight reading's broader emotional and educational benefits. Activities such as shared reading, book clubs, poetry workshops, creative writing tasks based on text, and drama sessions can instill empathy, creative thinking, and emotional understanding. Many classroom practitioners feel strongly that reading should be celebrated as a cultural and enriching experience rather than simply as preparation for exams. Community involvement will play a central role in the campaign. Teaching staff welcome the idea of community reading champions who could include local volunteers, parents, business employees, or even older students. These role models can help motivate children, particularly in areas with lower book ownership or literacy levels. The government has already committed to distributing thousands of books to communities that need them most. The campaign also faces the challenge of making reading appealing in a digital age. Publishers and campaign organisers recognise that traditional books compete directly with screens, streaming platforms and AI-driven entertainment. Educators hope the Year of Reading will embrace modern formats such as audiobooks, podcasts, interactive online stories and immersive augmented reality experiences. To fully integrate these resources, schools are likely to need additional training, support and funding. Educators we've spoken to stress the importance of sustained investment for the long-term success of this campaign. Many point to recent cuts in public library funding and limited school library budgets as major barriers to developing children's reading habits. Without reliable funding and resources, the campaign risks having only a short-term impact. Ultimately, classroom practitioners hope the National Year of Reading will spark lasting cultural change. If publishers, libraries, schools and parents genuinely listen to children's reading interests, the campaign has the potential to significantly improve reading engagement across the UK. By placing children's voices at the centre of this initiative, 2026 could become a turning point, creating a generation of readers who see books as relevant, accessible, and above all, exciting. If you'd like to get in touch, use the hashtag SRLpodcast on Twitter or drop us a line using the contact form or messaging button on our website schoolreadinglist.co.uk. And all the books lived happily ever after. The end.